Okay, so continuing the PBR Painter theme, I just wanted to cover something fairly simple which I've seen in various other programs, and lots of people have done it actually in Blender, but not necessarily with PBR Painter, not what I've seen anyway. So I'm just going to start off with a plane. Let's just scale that up a little bit, and we will dive in to Texture Painter, and I want to mix some surfaces on this plane, and I was just having a mess around, so I'm going to continue my mess around. And to start off with, I'm going to load a couple of different materials, layers should I say. So we start off with setup material for PBR Painter. Go OK. We will load a layer, or add a layer, and we'll call this one, what should we call this one? I can't remember what it is. Cobbles, I think it's gravel, that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to add another layer straight away, and going to call this wet mud, both multi-channels. Okay, and finally we'll add another one, we'll call that water, and leave that as a multi-channel as well. Let's turn these two off for now and just start with the gravel. Let's load the gravel texture. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. I wanted the other one. So I'm just copying and pasting the wrong one again. Okay, so let's use the ambient occlusion today. We're not going to use the displacement, but I'm going to load it anyway. I'm just going to turn it off straight away. The colour, the roughness, and the normal. So the only extra one we'll be adding today from yesterday's one is the displacement. So import multiple textures, and as soon as we've done that, we can just fill it. Whoops, that wasn't fill, was it? And there we have our cobbles. So let's just look at our primary PBR channels here, and let's just turn displacement off. We're not going to be using that one for this. It's quite a nice surface, this one anyway. It's got like a little bits of water showing through there, which is nice. So the next one we're going to add is the wet mud. I'm just going to push that one down, and for that one we will add the original one that was up here, the albedo, displacement, normal, and roughness. Import multiple textures, and let's turn displacement off. And let's fill that one as well. Just turn it on. Okay, so that one's quite nice as well. So we're going to do this. This is actually quite a straightforward process. The layer mask is going to be the displacement, which will basically is like a bump map, or height map. It shows us the height of the gravel. So we're going to use the gravel's displacement map as a layer mask. So you add new mask, leave it at image texture, and then find the gravel displacement, and then as we ramp these, in fact I think let's swap these around. So here you can see already what's happening. We can control the height of the image texture. Let's call this gravel image texture. We can control the height of that basically by using the black and the white points here, and so we can have essentially none of it, or if we ramp it all the way up, all of it, or just bits in between. And what's quite nice about this is you can kind of have a gradient as the kind of sand hits the edges of the gravel, as it were. So that's quite nice. I quite like that. It's quite nice. Oops, I think probably gone a bit too far. So let's have a bit more sand, or mud, should I say? Okay, that looks pretty good. And of course, you know what I'm going to do now. So the water has base color of black and a roughness value of 0, and a normal of constant as well, and let's fill that, and that's what our water looks like. And so add new mask, image texture, okay. We are going to add the gravel displacements like we did before. Call that gravel, and we will also add the wet mud displacement. And so now we've got a combination of the selected mask color ramps and the mask stack color ramp, and we can preview them together, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do exactly what I did before, swap those round. So now we can see our water starting to come through quite a bit. And we just need to do the same with this one. There we go, that's not half bad, is it? And so once again, the tighter you get this, the more kind of sharper the edges of the water are on the sides here. But you could have a bit more of a gradient, which works quite nicely on the sort of the rocks themselves. Let's do that more here, like so, and then you can tighten them both up with the mask stack color ramp. And so there you go, and that is a very straightforward way of creating variation in your ground plane, or whatever you're going to do, but in this particular case it works quite well on the ground texture. And of course if we go back to the gravel and let's tile it using the texture mapping. So let's make it by say 4. So I need to do the same with the layer mask. On that one, and on this one. And so fairly easy to change the whole look and feel. So I've kept the larger sand. Let's make the sand a bit bigger as well, or a bit smaller, whatever way you choose to look at it. So wet mud, let's do that by 2, and once again on the water texture we just have to do the same with that, and there we've got quite a nice looking surface for our ground. So 10 minutes, almost to the minutes, to the second. So yeah, I think if you're looking for various ways to use PBR texture, that is another fine way to use it. Thanks for taking the time to watch me, and I wish you success in your PBR painting experience.